I was drawn to policy and politics at a very young age. When I was little, we would go to visit my Nana, and on the way, we'd drive past a chemical manufacturing plant. My mom and dad would roll up the car windows to try to keep the polluted air out, and I started to wonder why companies would want to make the air bad if it sent kids like me with asthma to the hospital. Well, my mom just said, "I don't know, Jennifer. What are you going to do about it?" So after this happened week after week after week, I came up with a plan of what I wanted to do about it. And the plan involved growing up, becoming president, because that's how you got on the TV, and tell the polluters to stop it. Well, as I got older, I started to learn more about the party differences. And that's when I chose to become a Democrat. Because it's the Democrats that are fighting to protect our environment and to combat climate change. It's the Democrats who are fighting for health care so that a trip to the hospital for your asthmatic son or daughter doesn't send your family into bankruptcy. It's the Democrats that are fighting for the rights of our Black and brown citizens to live. This is the most consequential election of our lives. It is a choice between those who would fight to perfect our pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, and those who have fought for the past 4 years to deny us our rights, a clean environment, and simply the right to breathe. Please vote Democrat and encourage everybody you know to vote this November.
Involvement in Democratic politics was a natural segue for me. Growing up, I was extremely interested in world events, the state of the world, and most importantly, the condition of its people. I knew early on that the world was not a rosy place for everyone in it, and I knew that that was neither right or okay. So I made a conscious decision to leave this world a better place than where I found it. I believe that it is extremely important for my friends, my family, and my colleagues to vote in 2020, as voting is our civic duty. We should be voting every year and in every election and not just in 2020. However, as 2020 has shown us, we have a lot of things on the ballot and we need to make sure that our voices are heard. It is my opinion that we are voting for our morals, we are voting for our values, and we are also voting to show what we as Americans believe represents us best. So I encourage you all to make sure you rock your vote in November of 2020 and every time that there is an election. And make sure you take a friend and a family member. Encourage others. Thank you.
Former Mayor Xing Fouché is the first person who asked me to directly get involved in local politics. First by running for municipal committee and later by running for West Windsor Township Council. About 8 years ago, I realized that things that seemed to have nothing to do with politics, such as infrastructure, zoning, and other improvements in my town, were being run by our local politicians. And I didn't even know who our local politicians were. I was very unaware of how the process worked, and I believe many of my neighbors are unaware as well. I believe it's my mission to inform my co-residents of West Windsor about who the people that represent us are, what they stand for, and how we can voice our concerns. Even if you're not a voter, you can be involved. You can be in a committee, you can be active, you can voice your opinions at council meetings, and things like that are very important as they really do affect our day-to-day lives. Voting is very important in 2020, but it's always important. What's important as well is for voters to be informed and for there to be good candidates that feel supported and feel that they can represent us. It's important to get a diverse group of people interested in running for office, and for the voters to understand their positions, to know what's in their hearts and in their minds, and to vote appropriately.
The reason I'm involved with politics is because as Americans, we all have the privilege to collectively ensure that our affairs are faithfully executed. It's not about hobbyism or tribalism, it's about civic participation. My allegiance to the Democratic Party in particular stems from the fact that despite living in a time of unparalleled economic and social opportunity, we still seem to apparently struggle with what seems like a widening social and economic divide, and indeed a not true realization of our promise towards a more perfect union. That's why it's so important to vote in 2020. Aside from removing the cabal of bad faith actors and plunderers that seem to have infiltrated our highest levels of government, it's about politics being inherently local, inherently a long-term game. And it's always an opportunity for us to reach out and take those members of the community to put them into positions of power on an ongoing basis that will build the foundation to ensure that our collective interests are realized going forward.
I have been a Mercer County resident for the past 19 years. Originally from Cambria Heights, Queens, New York, my passion for the Democratic Party started early. Since the age of 7, I was attending Democratic Party meetings with my mom. I remember being impressed and fascinated by the men and women in our township executive board. Seeing my mom help fundraise for local races through rallies and picnics in the park were all examples of working hard for something you believe in. I was highly influenced at a young age by my assemblyman, Al Walden. He was also my Little League coach. Mr. Walden believed in equal opportunity rights and was a big advocate for education and fair housing. And he allowed this tomboy to show her skills and be the only female on our township baseball league. My first political involvement was when I was a student at St. John's University. In the 1988 election, I was helping everyone register to vote. These experiences have cemented my commitment to making sure that the voiceless get heard, that representation throughout the community is equitable, and that women have a seat at the table. These reasons are why this election is most important in my lifetime. Without question, we should honor the memory of those who came before us, who fought for our right to vote. This election is as important as it is the need to breathe. Even though we may not agree, I simply ask to pledge to go vote. I've helped my clients make important decisions about protecting their family and planning for the future. My mission is to apply that same work ethic and diligence in helping our township advocate successfully for our citizens and their needs. I want to thank the Mercer County Federation of Democratic Women and the New Jersey Federation of Democratic Women for their support, and humbly thank you for this outstanding award. I wish you all blessings, good health. Let's cut short 45 and bring in 46. Go Biden!